Hi class, it's Hagen. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little quiz review before you take the quiz. It's going to be on two sections. The first one is 4.1 matrices and data, and then our second section is on multiplying matrices. So I just wanted to go over just a few little things that I want you to remember before we take the quiz. So first off, 4.1 was on matrices and data. So you're going to be graded on this standard. The standards are: I can use matrices to display data, I can add matrices, I can subtract matrices, and I can perform scalar products of the matrices. So before we move on, we're going to talk about the properties, like how to kind of describe your matrix. So the first part, number 1, says how many rows are in the matrix K. So we're looking at this matrix K. Remember, rows stand for these horizontal entries. So we have, this is row 1, row 2, row 3. You guys know this. So there's 3 rows, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So therefore, the dimensions of this, it's going to be a 3 by 5 matrix. You always go row by column when you name it. All right. So that's all about naming. Also, make sure you know how to name the entries in each. So like this would be 1, 1. This one would be 1, 1. This would be 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, so on. Okay, so that's the first part. And then the second part down here is on adding and subtracting if possible. So we've got our 3 matrices. The big important thing about adding and subtracting matrices is that you need to make sure that the dimensions are the same. So A is a 2 by 2, B is a 2 by 2, and C is going to be a 2 by 3 dimension matrix. So in order to add and subtract, we need to have the same dimensions. If not, then just write not possible. So the first one is A plus B. We're just going to rewrite our matrix right here, A plus B, which is 12, 7, 5, 9. And now you just have to add the corresponding entries right here. So 3 plus 12 is 15. Now move on. 6 plus 7 is 13. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 0 plus 9 is 9. So that's your answer there. Now if we move on to B plus C, notice how B is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix, and C is a 2 by 3. So since we have that, we don't have the same dimensions, it's going to be not possible. And then I want you guys to give me a description why. Say the dimensions aren't the same. We have to have the same size in order for it to be possible to add or subtract. All right, now moving on. Here's our second section, and this is on multiplying matrices. So the learning targets I'm going to be assessing are: I can use the properties of matrix multiplication, and I can multiply inverses or multiply matrices. We're not going to go over the identity matrix on this quiz today, so you don't need to worry about that for today's quiz anyways. So moving on, it says to use the following matrices for these exercises and then tell whether the product is defined. If so, give the dimensions. All right, so we want to multiply A with multiplied by matrix B. First off, before we even multiply them, we need to see if it's defined. To do that, let's look at the dimensions. So this is a 2 by 2, this is a 2 by 1 matrix. A way to tell if it's defined is if the number of columns in your first matrix is equal to the number of rows in your second matrix. If that is so, then yes, it is defined. Let me just erase that. So yes, it is defined, and therefore our new matrix is going to be a 2 by 1. So our final answer is going to be a 2 by 1 matrix Just write that so we can be sure. So therefore it's going to be a 2 by 1. This is what it's going to look like. How you find that now is we need to do the multiplying method. So what we learned a couple days ago, or on Friday, you're going to take this row and you're going to multiply it with this column. So you're going to take -1 times 3, which is a -3, plus 0 times 1, which is 0. That's going to give us a final answer of -3. Okay, now we've got to move on. We want to find this second row, first column. So we're going to go second row, first column again. This is a 2 times 3, which is 6, plus -2 times 1 is a -2. That's going to give us a +4. So this is going to be our final answer. It's a 2 by 1 matrix, and our numbers our entries are going to be a -3 and a 4. All right. Now moving on, let's do number 3. So number 3 says to multiply A times C. So our A is going to be a -1, 2, 0, -2. Our C is a 4 and 3. First off, we need to figure out if we can actually multiply this. Is this defined? This is a 2 by 2 matrix. This is a 1 by 2. Are the number of rows, or the number of columns in the first one, equal to the number of rows in our second matrix? No, it's not, so therefore it is not defined. And I would like you guys to explain that. Don't just say, no, it's not defined. Actually give me an explanation. Say the number of columns in A do not equal the number of rows in C. So therefore, it is not defined. Okay. All right, so that's about all I wanted to talk about for the quiz review. We've pretty much covered almost everything on there. Obviously, I didn't go over everything that's going to be on the quiz, but I want you to use this time wisely now. You can study with a friend, go over your notes, look over the book, do whatever you can. It's only on 2 sections, so you don't have to, the quiz shouldn't take too long. It's just front and back. So when you're done, you don't have any homework, but I would recommend looking over section, I'll write this down, look over section 4.4, because we're going to start working that on Monday when we get back from break. So 4.4 and 4.5 are going to be more challenging sections in your book. So I want you guys to really to look over that, make sure that you kind of have a little prior knowledge before you come to class on Monday. And I hope you all have a great break and good luck on your quiz. Bye!